All right, what's up guys? VV back with another video. And in today's video, guys, as you can see in the background here, we've got a market watch video lined up for you today. So today is the 15th of the month. If you're new to the channel, we do a market watch video every single month on the 1st and the 15th of every single month. Okay, guys? So keep that in mind. Mark it down in your calendar. Expect it, right? So with that in mind, let's go ahead and get straight into the video today. There's not too much to talk about other than that. The majority of the video, let me just break it down for you guys. The majority of the video will be on tcgplayer.com, where we're going to go through every color and cards I think you should look at for every color. Red, green, blue, purple, black, and yellow in that order. Then after that, we're going to head over to Limitless TCG, which is this right here, and we're going to be checking out how much decks cost in their entirety. Like, so in other words, if I'm a new player and I want to get into One Piece, how much would it cost for me to just get into the game and buy a competitive deck list from scratch, right? We'll do that, and then we'll finish off the video with one fun game on the sim of me playing Purple Yellow Nico Robin versus Enel. Just a fun little matchup to show off at the very end. Okay, guys? I will have everything time-stamped in the general description, and I'll have all relevant deck lists and links and things like that down in the comment section below as well. If I missed anything, guys, or if there's a card we need to look out for, or you have any comments, questions, or suggestions, please do not hesitate to put those down in the comment section below, or hop on the VV Theory Discord. Link is in the channel description. Now, let's do this, guys. Let's get into this. Real quick, if you don't mind. So, real quick before we dive into this, guys, we're going to start off with Rayleigh. However, if you plan on making any purchases on TCG Player, I do have an affiliate link. It's in every one of my videos, guys. It will be in this video as well. So like, this is what happens. You know, you go to a video, I start off, you know, you see it like this, right? This is what it looks like when you click on one of my videos. Well, right here, notice this part right here. This is, you know, this is the general description of the video. If you click on this, this is where my timestamps are, right? However, there's also another thing in here that could really help me out. It doesn't cost you a penny. It's called it's this TCG Player affiliate link. So if you want to purchase something, if you just click on this link right here, it will take you to the front page of tcgplayer.com, and since you used it, you're good to go. You can just make your purchases as usual. Nothing else changes. It doesn't charge you extra. It just gives me 3.5% of the sales at the end. So that would really help me out, guys. If you click on that, I really appreciate it. Now we can get into the video, actually into the actual market watch itself. Okay, let me get this out of the way, and here we go. So first up here, we got red. Silver's Rayleigh is still the big one to look out for. Silver's Rayleigh is still, it's actually gone down in price. If you look at the graph here, guys, it peaked all the way up into the $40 range. I was very concerned when I saw this, when it got up to the $40 range, but hey, it's already starting to dip back down into the $30 range, which is what we want to see. And we want to see it keep going this direction. Hey, unless you're a seller, right? If you're someone who like sells stuff on the market watch, you obviously don't want to see that. But for the players like myself who just want to have all the cards be super affordable, and I want this game to be very accommodating to new players, I want to see this price keep going down, 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 all the way down into the tens, right? The teens. But if it can get around $20 to $25, guys, I would snatch this up. I think that is a reasonable price, and I think the card is worth that. So Silver's Rayleigh, excuse me, guys, it is pretty expensive. Keep your eye on it. I do expect for it to go down maybe a little bit, and they have also, one more thing we have to talk about too here, is they have announced that there will be a new PRB 02 coming out soon. I don't know the exact dates on that, don't ask. I have no idea. In fact, if you know, guys, I have no idea. So if you know, please put it in the comment section below when PRB 02 is supposed to come out. With that in mind, we don't know what's going to be in there. Who knows if Silver's Rayleigh will be in there. You see what I'm saying? That could drive the market price of this down or up, depending. You know, it all depends. So with that in mind, keep an eye on this card and see what happens there. We kind of have to wait and see what they're going to be printing or reprinting or whatever. But other than that, other cards associated with Rayleigh, Dragon, $7. I think we are going to look at that somewhere up here. I think I might have this one up at the top too. But Dragon's around the $8 mark. Keep your eyes on this one. Ben Beckman at $2. Shanks at $2. These are auto buys right here, guys. If you don't have your playset of Ben Beckman, if you don't have your playset of Shanks, snap decision, buy that immediately, okay? Edward Newgate, $2. Snatch it up right away. Very important. And then we're going to look at some of these cards in a minute. So, yeah, let's save that. I've got these up here already. So, next up is Gum Gum Fire Fist Pistol Red Hawk. Crazy name, right? Gum Gum Fire Fist Pistol Red Hawk. This card is up to, like, almost $5. Let me say this right now, guys. Unless they reprint this, in PRB02, which we don't know yet, they may not, we don't actually have that information yet, now is not the worst time to snag them, even if it is $5. Like, yeah, if it gets reprinted, the price will go down to like $1 or $2, but would you rather take that chance of like, okay, I can either, you know, quote unquote, waste like $3 a card buying it now, still getting a whole playset under $20, or what if it does not get reprinted in PRB02, and what if it becomes like $10 a card? That you see it's going to come down to your discretion. It is a hard decision to make because we just don't know what's going to be in PRB02 yet. But guys, I personally would snag these now while they're at still a pretty reasonable price because, okay, something we have to talk about, guys. I mention this all the time. I've said it before, guys. I need to have like a little, almost like this, like box on the side over here, something that explains a few things, or maybe I'll put it down here at the bottom left that explains like some generic terms we have to talk about. So there's like 4 terms to go over real quick. Or, well, not terms, but 4 things we have to talk about. Number 1, I use a term called a pseudo playset. Pseudo means not real, right? Not quite the real thing, fake, false, right? So it's a pseudo playset. For Red Hawks right now, I think you only need like 2 for most of the decks that run this, okay? So if you just snag your 2 right now, you're probably good to go, and you'll stay under $10 for the 2 of them. I know it's more than you want to spend on a rare event, but if you're trying to play Shanks, which is the main deck that I think tries this, I'd snag them now just to save yourself potentially in the long run. But again, don't be mad at me if they reprint it. We don't know about that yet. So that's one thing I always talk about. After that, secret rares that are $10 or under, I would snap by those without any hesitation. These are, of course, for the cards or colors you're trying to play. For SRs that are $5 and under, snap buy decision on that. And then, of course, for commons, rares, and uncommons, those should be $1 auto buys, right? So with that in mind, let's go ahead and look down here again. So again, notice that this is a good example right here. Look at this. Monkey D. Dragon is $8 for an SR. You can tell by the border. It also, it also says right here, super rare. This card is around $8. Well, my rule is if anything's $5 and under as a super rare, like Ben Beckman or Ace, boom, snap decision buy those if I still need my playset or if I still need my cards for it, because you don't know when this card is going to go up in price. You just don't know. When they get to this $5 to $10 range, now you really need to pay attention. You might have to buy as an emergency purchase kind of thing, right? Where it's like, okay, what if this card keeps getting more and more expensive and we don't see a reprint for how long? You know what I mean? So really keep your eye on that. Okay, all right, so that's Gum Gum, Fire Fist, Pistol, Red Hawk. This card, guys, very, very solid card to have in Shanks. And like I said, with my little ideas here, all you really need are 2 of these. It's like 2 is all you need for a playset. If you want more than that, get more, of course. Okay, next up we have Bad Manners Kit Course. Guys, these, I'm just going to say it, buy 4 of these. I just would snag this right now. It's $2.50 for a rare that is a 0-cost 3K that will be usable in any red deck for the foreseeable future. It's just a good card. Will it get reprinted? We simply don't know. I wouldn't take my chances. I would snag this. Look, they are starting to go up to $3, actually. So, see, this is one of those, just like Gum Gum, Fire Fist, Pistol, Red Hawk, and another card we're going to look at later called Love Love Mellow, where they're starting to see a rise in price for these really strong events, guys. Keep your eye on this. Keep your eye on it. Next up, Gold D. Roger. This is a $5 secret. Let me say this. This card is a pseudo playset 1, okay? You only need 1 of these cards for an entire deck as just a one-shot, OTK style card. Well, I guess not one-turn KO, but y'all know what I'm trying to say. This is a card you really only need 1 to surprise someone with in your deck, and if you search over it, oh well. So if you don't have 1 of these, I would snag this immediately, because I keep trying to tell people, guys, hear me out. This is a Roger Pirates card. Can I show you guys something real quick? This is a Roger Pirates card. Secret rarity, so very rare, right? Under $5, right? Check this out. We don't know what's coming in the future, but there is this other card called Silver's Rayleigh, not the one we looked at earlier. That's a different one than we're about to look at. But look at this one, guys. Oh, what's this? This is another Roger Pirates card. This is not former. So this the original one we looked at, this is a former Roger Pirates, because notice he's super old in this picture, right? So in the one we were just looking at, though, Silver's Rayleigh, this is a Roger Pirates card, and it is also red. It just so happens to be red. Guys, let's put our thinking caps on. Let's use a little bit of imagination and anticipate, pick up on the patterns. There's probably a high chance one day they will print a red Roger Pirate deck. And I'm just saying, in that kind of deck, guys, is it that far-fetched to think that this card right here would not want to go in there? Like, I'm sure they would build something around this card for it, right? And it would theoretically be searchable in that kind of list. So it's just something I would consider if you don't have one or two of these at $5, under $5 for a secret rare, boom, snap decision, buy it instantly. Okay, next up we got green. Okay, so we're done with red cards for now. If I missed a red card, please say something in the comment section below. But now we're moving over to green. First up we have Zorro. This card is up to $24, $25 and fluctuating within that. It's basically fluctuating between the $23 and $30 mark, okay? There's like a $7 window that it's in between. Buy at your own discretion. I don't think this card is worth buying right now, personally. I do not know a deck that is running this card that is winning tournaments. I'm just going to say that right now, guys, because even if you get into green, if you're going film, you're going Shanks. There's a 9-cost 11K Shanks. Let me see if it's down at the bottom here. It might be, it might not. Yeah, here it is right here. Perfect. So if you're running film, you just run Shanks. And if you're running Bonnie, number one, you can run Shanks, or you could run a few other things like 10-cost Dopey, 7-cost Hody, 8-cost Eustace Kid. It really depends on what you're trying to build. But most Bonnie decks are going away from Zorro, and there's a gimmick deck right now that's going around. I don't mean to call it that. I know that's kind of insensitive for some people, but hear me out. Green-Purple Limb is the only deck I think that is literally just charging to this card, ramping as fast as they can, and just dropping this card. So yeah, if you're playing again, if you plan on playing Limb, you might want to snag your 2 or 3 of these immediately. This card's probably like a 2-card playset, typically speaking, like for a pseudo playset as I call it. But in Limb, it might be running as 3 or 4 of, because they are actually ramping to this card. So pick and choose your battles wisely. I'm just going to say this, guys, even if I was playing Limb, guys, understand this. If I was playing Limb, I still would not be running this card. I would actually be running the 10-cost Kaido Lin. I'll just bring that up right now. It's called Kaido. In fact, I have it up on one of these other ones. Hang on one second. I think it's this very last one here. No, wait. Hang on. It's right here. So on this tab right here, guys, there's a card called Kaido and Lin. I would probably personally run this card over the 9-cost Zorro, even though I know people are going to say, yeah, but you don't understand going first. It gets exactly to 9 Dawn at like this perfect timing. I understand that. And even in that case, I actually still would not run this Zorro. I would actually be running the Eustace Kid, which was right here. This card right here. Okay? That's just me. It's up to you guys. Do what you want to do. It's totally, you know, it comes down to player preference at that point. But I personally would not be buying this card at this price. There's no way. Okay, next up we have Cavendish. Cavendish is around $25. This is another one. I would really wait to see what they put in PRB 02 if you need your playset of this card right now, guys. I would really wait to see what they're going to put in PRB 02. I'm not saying they're going to put any of these EB01 cards in there. I don't know. But this card is extremely expensive, and it suffers from being in the same set as a bunch of other cards that are going to be on this list. EB01 was like a short print, basically. It did not print very well for whatever reason. And whatever the case is, this card is basically $25 a card right now, guys. $25, $26 a card. And it's not something you want to pay for an SR, a super rare. So it's kind of confusing, right? There's SR super rare, and then there's SEC secret rare. They're both like SR kind of, but SR is referring to super rares with the silver border, and then secret rares are referring to these gold borders. Okay, guys, just to make sure there's, you know, you guys understand what you're looking for. And then, of course, there are cards that have like the gold border that are events. That's different. That's not a secret rare. Events are very different. Okay, next up we have Eustace Captain Kid here, guys. This card's gone up to $4 because, guys, let me tell you something. It looks like there's going to be a little bit of a meta shift going on in OP10, OP 10.5, OP 10.7, whatever it's going to be when EB02 comes out. It looks like this leader, it looks like this character is about to go, you know, way up in usage rate. So make sure to snag these if you do not already have them. Guys, if you do not have your Eustace Captain Kid, just get your playset immediately. I'm just going to say it. It's not worth waiting around. This card has already been reprinted, by the way. This card has already been reprinted in PRB 01. Just get these immediately if you don't have them and you need them. Next up is Rosinante. This card is up to $2 for a rare, not an SR, not a secret, a rare. So there we go. Here's the perfect difference, guys. So notice rares, commons, and uncommons have this white frame. They have this white border. And then the SRs have the silver and then the gold for the secrets. So back to what we were saying with Rosinante, these are typically under $1, okay? Like cards that are rare or under are right around the $1 mark. This one is seeing a rise in usage, and so therefore it's seeing a rise in price. The demand is going up, so the price is going up. And look at this, guys. There's actually, yeah, it's actually closer to the 2 to 250 range if you include tax and everything. So you might want to snag your playset of these immediately. I would not take any chances. I would just get it now. Next up is Sanji. Sanji has gone up since we last, well, excuse me, it's actually gone down, I think, since we last talked about it. It's down to $20 now, really $18. When it went up, it surged all the way up to $25 for a while there because a new leader was shown to have some potential with this card. It looks like it's probably going to sit at the $20 range, guys, because, it's selling. It's not selling a lot. Look at this, 42 items over a 3-day period, 35, 51. So it is selling pretty consistently at around 50, let's just say somewhere between 30 to 50 copies of this card every single 3 days. So it is selling pretty well. I would not expect this card to go down in price anytime soon unless something gets shown in the PRB set. So take a look at this one, guys. Be sure to keep your eye on this price. If you're trying to play something with like Blurple, especially Blurple Straw Hats, I would probably grab a few of these as soon as you can. It is a little pricey, but if you have it, if you can afford it, then by all means. Otherwise, if you can afford to wait, let me say that, guys. If you can afford to buy it right now, do what you got to do, right? But if you can afford to wait on this one. I would see what happens with the prices. Next up is Gravity Blade Raging Tiger. This one's jumped up in price, guys, because it's just one of the most insane, it's one of the most insane rare events we have access to. Guys, events are becoming kind of costly. They're becoming pretty pricey because there are now these events that are just staples in all the decks that run the color of whatever the event is. So like in the case of this one, guys, remember what we were just saying about Sanji, right? So in this Sanji right here, this is selling between like 30 to 50 copies every 3 days. Gravity Blade Raging Tiger is selling between, what is this? The low is about 100 items sold up to about 175 items sold every single 3 days. So it is really selling like crazy. It's selling like hotcakes, guys. I would snag these as soon as you can if you do not already have your play set. Next up is Jinbei. Jinbei is one of those cards. It's actually been jumping down in price. So guys, Let's talk about bans and restrictions for just a moment. Some potential bans and restrictions coming up on March 16th, I believe it is. It is right after Worlds. I think it's going to be this. Well, it's going to be the same day as the end of Worlds is. That sounded weird, like the end of the world. I mean, at the end of like the World Championship will be. So this card, the reason it's going down in price, I believe, is because some people are anticipating a ban that has to do with either this card or Dofi. They don't know what card is going to be banned. Don't let people tell you they know. They might be right. They might guess it correctly, but we don't know. Some people are saying this card might get banned, Jinbei. Some people are saying the 2-cost Teach might get banned. Some people are saying the Leader might get banned. We have no idea, okay? But keep that in mind. That's why the price is dipping down on this card. If you can get this card for around the $5, $6 mark, I'd get it anyway because you never know what could happen in the future or with new formats in the future and things like that. I'd pick up your playset if this card starts going south of $5. Real quick, let me look down here for anything else. We already talked about Gravity Blade. We're about to talk about Perona. I would snag my Sengokus. This is just a good 7 Warlord searchable for any deck. Edward Weevil, it's an EB01 rare. I would just snag these immediately at that $2 range. That is more than acceptable. This Trafalgar Law, I believe it has been confirmed that ST17 Trafalgar Law will be reprinted in PRB 02. I think it is one of the few cards that has already been confirmed. I'll talk about another one in a minute. This card, I believe, is going to be reprinted. So you can pretty much, this card's pretty cheap now, and you can buy it for this if you want to, I think, and I don't think you'll be too upset with the $2 SR purchase. Pudding has gone down in price, and Perfume Femur's been what it is, and that's about it. Boa Hancock at $2. I would snatch these up pretty quickly, guys. And then, yeah, we already talked about Law. Okay, next up for blue, we got, I think this is it for, no, I got one more for blue we got to talk about, I think. Perona. Perona is an uncommon from OP01, guys. It's at $5. If it makes you feel better in your mind, you just need to pretend this is an SR. You just need to pretend this is a super rare, guys, because honestly, there are probably SRs that have been printed more than this card ever since OP01, right? So I would just consider that. OP01 was when the game was first starting out. They did not know how popular it was going to be, et cetera, et cetera. So just by all means, I would snag this at around the $5 range, and I would not be upset with this, because this is an evergreen, generically good blue card that you can run in any blue deck. It's not locked in any way, shape, or form. It's a 1-cost, 2,000 power, 1K counter. It's practically a searcher, right? It's not quite a searcher. I know it's not the same, but it's still very, very good. So this card is worth the $5 mark right now. If it gets reprinted, that'll be great. It'll go down in price, but unless it's reprinted, I don't see this card going down in price. Very solid cards. Snag these while you can. Love Love Mellow, $6 for another. This is a common, quote unquote, it is a common event. It's part of ST03, so the rarity is a little different when it comes to the starter decks. Starter decks are a little bit different, guys, than your standard like OP01, OP02. So like, for example, this came out in OP01. That's a normal one-piece set, but anything that has an ST in the front comes from a starter deck, and that has, some of those cards have very limited availability. They're only available through a starter deck sometimes. So this card, that's why it's $6 while being a common. If you're the only one deck really runs this card currently, and it is Nami. So if you're trying to play Nami, you need to snatch these up immediately because it's the only deck that runs it, and you'll probably want 3 or 4 of these, probably 4. So I would snag these, and it's pretty much the entire cost of Nami. We'll talk about that more as we get to the deck prices. Okay, and that's about it for the events. Every other event's probably pretty well priced here. Keep an eye on Kaya, guys. Look at this, around $250 for this. This is a great rare 2K counter for blue. It can be used in any blue, any deck that runs blue. It's just a great utility 2K counter that does a draw 2, trash 2. I would probably snatch these up while you can, while they're cheap. And that's that. Okay, next up, we got Monkey D. Luffy. This is a $12 card now. This card's becoming very affordable, and I do expect it to keep going down because while this card is very good, I do think this is another one with, you know, it's got that pseudo play set of around 2 to 3 of this card in a deck. You typically aren't going to want to run 4. There are a few decks that run 4, by the way, and it might be your preference to run 4. But this card's not exactly running away with the format either. It's a great card, but there's going to be another secret rare Luffy coming out in EB02. It is a 6-cost EB02 purple Luffy, 7,000 power rusher. That is, I think it's just strictly better than this card. It's not bigger. This card is bigger and it does draw you cards, but the one I'm talking about is going to be able to restand, and it's going to change the direction of purple as a color, where it's like, why would I go for the tall late game when I can go for a faster, more aggressive mid game that swings twice with some of these characters? I could just load 2 up on that card and swing 9 twice with the character that I'm talking about. So it's one of those situations where this is a good card, and buying this at $13 I don't think is going to upset you. You know what I mean? Buying this at $13 is pretty good deal, a pretty good deal on this. This is where I need Rayleigh to get down to be honest. Hopefully one day. But I think Rayleigh's a little more useful than what this card is. This card's a little more specific for ramping up. Purple does that, but it's more specific to ramping up and swinging in. And this also is being battled by another purple card we're going to look at in a minute in the 9-cost slot of 9-cost Linlin, which some people prefer Luffy over Linlin. Some people prefer Linlin over Luffy. Some prefer both. And sometimes it comes down to searchability of either of them, and that determines it. But whatever the case is, I think this card's extremely good. At the $13 range, I would not be upset purchasing this one, even though it's not under $10, like I say, is the perfect time to buy. Okay, let's look down here for any other cards that might be associated with it. We're going to talk about Linlin in a moment. Sanji at the $3 range, I would snatch these up immediately. Immediate decision buy on Sanji, guys. I would get this as soon as possible. Gum Gum Giant under $2. There's some speculation that some people think Gum Gum Giant might get banned. I have no idea. Whatever the case is, I'd snag 4 of these for under $2 each instantly. Sanji, we're going to talk about in just a minute. The blocker. Charlotte Linlin, we're going to talk about in a moment as well. This Eustace Kid at the $2 mark. Snatch these up. Easy decision. And Shanks, I don't know if we talked about this, but under $2, immediately get that. And we're going to talk about Usohachi. All right, next up is the Sanji blocker we were just looking at. $10. I'm telling you guys, I've been warning you, this card is worth it. You just need to buy this card, guys. I would even consider this like secret rarity level as far as like, maybe not as far as printing goes, but as far as like power level and impact can potentially go. I would snatch this card up as soon as you can if you need your play set. There is a chance it could be reprinted in PRB 02. I don't know if it will or not, but I personally wouldn't take the chance while it's still under $10 a card. I'd probably just snag these guys. I've been begging people to snatch these up for a long time now, way back when they were $3 to $5 a card. Okay, so I would get them now. I wouldn't take the chance. Usohachi, this is another one of those ST starter deck cards. Very, very annoying. Make sure you pick this card up as soon as you can. It is part of the starter deck. It is one of the best utility 2K counters in the game. period. Like in the game, not just for purple. It's a 3-cost, 2K counter, Straw Hat searchable card, so that goes across all color. You know, Straw Hat has an option across every color right now, to be honest. And then anything with purple in it for Straw Hats, of course, is going to be very strong. And it just says, on play, if you have 8 or more Dawn, rest down one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. So you're resting down their blocker for 3 Dawn, you're smashing in, and then throughout the rest of the game, it's a 2K counter. Searchable 2K counter, just incredible. Snatch these up, guys. Get them while you can. This Zoro is around the $3 mark. I would snag this as well. Let's go through the rest of these. This Onami's cheap. Buy this for sure. Luffy Taro. Yeah, if you don't have these cards, guys, and you're trying to go purple, just get it right away, instantly, immediately. Okay, and then Frankie's pretty cheap. Snag that too. Definitely Definitely snag these Frankies, guys. Definitely get these immediately if you don't have your play set of them, because they could go up in price in the long run. Next up is Charlotte Linlin. This is a card that I'm telling you guys, I think this is absolutely the best purple card like out right now. If it's not like literally the best, who knows what the best card is? It's got to be in the top 5 conversation in purple. Like if you were to pick the best top 5 purple cards, and this list is and this card is not in that top 5 list for purple cards right now, purple character cards, I don't know I'm not sure if your list is accurate, guys. This card is incredible. It is one of those that, like, if you don't have your play set and you plan on playing purple at any time in the future, this is not a leader locked card. It is a 9-cost 9K body that gains you a life and moves one of your opponent's life cards out of the way into their life. Just an incredible card. I'd snag it while you can, guys, at $5 auto buy for an SR of this caliber. Okay, let me go down here to the bottom, make sure we're not missing anything. Yep, I think we've already gone over all this. And let me see something. Okay, before we go into black, there's one more card I at least want to look at, and it is Mr. 2, Bon Carré Bentham. This card is still in the $40 range. Hopefully they reprint this in the PRB set, but we don't know if they will or not. This is a card to keep your eye on. I would wait for this to go down in price because we do have a very good replacement for this card currently in the game called Basil Hawkins. I will show you that card just as a reference. Basil Hawkins this is the card I'm referring to. It does the exact same thing for the most part. Not the exact same thing. So this is a 4-cost 2K, but the Bon Carré is a 4-cost 1K, but when it attacks, it will match the power of one of your opponent's characters. Both are 1K counters. Both add a Dawn card. This one, the Basil Hawkins adds it rested, and the Bon Carré adds it active. But this has a trigger, and the Bon Carré does not. So this is just a great replacement for the time being for anyone who's trying to build on a budget for Bon Carré, because right now, guys, that card is, like I just showed you, it's $40 a card. I'd rather spend 40 cents on a card that ramps me a Dawn than $40 on a card and just deal with the limitations of it, like deal with the negative side of it. Okay, now moving on to the black cards. First up is Brooke. This card is still sitting at $25. I really hope in the PRB 02, I really hope they're going to reprint some of these SRs that have gotten out of control from EB01. EB01 was one of those sets that got short printed or something happened. I don't know what the case is. Whatever the case is, though, the cards, that's also what the Bon Carré was from that we were just looking at, guys. This was the secret rare from EB01. $40, and then this, this SR, Cavendish, Chopper, Laboon. There are so many cards from this set. Shirahoshi from Yellow, we're going to look at that in a minute. They're like in the $20 range for SRs. That is unacceptable, guys. They need to jump on that. They need to get on that, and I really hope they reprint it in PRB 02. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this card is I would wait. There's no way I'm buying at this price. I think we're going to look at Rebecca and Gecko Moria, but definitely snag these around this price if we don't revisit them. Jack, I would snag at that price as well, under $2 a card. Get that as soon as you can. Lucci at under $1 a card. Snatch that up. Hina is going up in price. Let me check something real quick. Kaido and then Tempest Kick is fine. So guys, we are going to click on Hina real quick. There's some speculation. Again, this is all to do with the ban's restrictions. Some people are coping with the idea, I'll call it, that maybe they'll unban Sakazuki. And let me explain. This has created a hysteria on the market. I'm not saying they're going to do it, by the way. I don't actually think they will. If they do, great. But if they don't, yeah, I'm not surprised. First of all, get all of these cards for the prices these are. If you don't have these 3 cards right here, I guess even these 4 cards, I would snatch all these up if you plan on playing anything Black Navy in the future. Okay, definitely snag those, and probably even this other Tashigi and the T-Bone. But here's the thing: Hina it's always been around this $5 mark because it was only available in a starter deck, ST06 Absolute Justice. Another card people are talking about as well. Who knows? Maybe it will get unbanned, maybe it won't. We don't know if it will or won't get unbanned, but it's Great Eruption. Not trying to get anyone's hopes up, but I'm just saying, look at the prices here, guys. Take a look at these prices. This card has gone, it was down in the dollar range, and now people are jumping up. The price is going up like 400% because people are thinking like, okay, what if this leader, what if Blue Black Sakazuki gets unbanned and with it Great Eruption? So that's the logic there. Let's also look at Sakazuki alternate art here just to give an idea. Guys, I don't typically mess around with alt arts, but I just want to show you guys something. Look at this. Okay, this card for the alt art for Sakazuki, the leader, was all the way down in the $18 range for quite some time, you know, really in the $15 to $20 range, anywhere around there. It has jumped up to $45 because people are anticipating a potential unbanning of this leader. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm just telling you what people are doing. I'm telling you why the prices are doing what they're doing. And by the way, look at all these alt arts, guys. These are really not that bad for alt arts for these leaders we're looking at here. Not a bad time to snag some of these guys. Like under $30 for an alt art leader is going to be worth it in my book. I should explain that, guys. So real quick, you have to understand how alt arts work in this game for leaders and Dawn. We'll look at Dawn as well. I usually don't look at Dawn, guys. I'm really spoiling y'all today. I'm just kidding. No, but seriously, when it comes to alt art leaders, it's one of the few cards in this game I consider buying alt arts for. I don't do alt arts, guys. I just do base rarity. I just kind of buy on a budget. It's just the way I like to do things, and I like when the deck is completely uniform. There's not like mismatched cards that are the same, the same name and number and all that. So when it comes to leaders, though, there's only one leader on your board at a time. You can only have one leader. And with Dawn, you can get whatever Dawn you want to and move it from any deck you want to play. So if I have like these 10 Dawn cards that are my absolute favorite Dawn cards, I can move them to anywhere I want to in any deck that I play. Dawn is universal. So with that in mind, these are some of the few cards I would consider buying at a, like, you know, at the alt art rarity, because they're just, it's something you're going to look at nonstop, right? And in this case, under $30 for a card like that, I don't think that's a problem at all. That's just my personal opinion. So if you're looking at buying alt arts and it's under $30 for an alt art leader, for me, guys, that's an auto buy, easy decision. Easy decision. Okay, so anyway, back to what we were saying, back to the black cards. Keep an eye on what we were looking at with Great Eruption, with that Sakazuki, and with the Hina we were looking at here. Make sure to keep an eye on this. It could go up, could go down. It all depends on what they're going to reprint. Next up is Gecko Moria. Just get this card, guys. It survived the first wave of bans. Some people think that this card might get banned in the new ban restriction update on March 16th. I personally do not think that. I do not think this card will be banned because I think they like how it does what it does in Black Yellow Luffy. Could be wrong. I don't know. They could ban it for all we know. We have no idea. But let me say this, guys. At $5 for a card of this caliber, easy decision for me. I would snatch this up pretty much immediately at the $5 mark, guys. If you can get this for $5 like locally or something, I would do that. Okay, Sabo. Sabo is the other card, I believe. Someone correct me in the comment section below if I'm wrong or if I'm off, but I believe Sabo and I believe Trafalgar Law, ST17 Trafalgar Law, have been the two cards confirmed from PRB 02 that will be reprinted. Again, I could be wrong about that, but I don't think I am. Guys, this card has been just plummeting in price, and this card is still incredible, guys. Do not misunderstand. This is not a bad card. That's not why it's going down in price. Some people have even speculated that it could get banned or something like that, but I don't think so. And again, I don't ever want to give misinformation, guys. So again, please tell me if I'm wrong or if I'm off. But I think they confirmed that this card and the Trafalgar Law were going to be reprinted in PRB 02. I'll have to double check on that, guys. If I double check and it's wrong, I'll update it in the comment section below. Keep your eye on this card, though. Watch for the prices to move around, and if it does get confirmed, let me say this, guys. I don't even want to say it's going to be confirmed. If they do confirm this card in a reprint, then this will go way down in price. We've already seen that happen before in the past with SRs. That's what happened with Gecko Moria. Guys, this card was reprinted in PRB 01. So the price used to be like $16, $17, $18 for this card. It jumped straight down to like $3 for a long time, and now it's back up to around $5 to $10 depending, right? So good stuff there. Hopefully this gets reprinted. I hope that is correct what I heard. Next up is Rebecca. $6 for this card. It's just worth it, guys. The card is extremely powerful. Yet another card. I hate to keep putting you guys on all these like teasers and cliffhangers, but this is another card. If you're like, yeah, no, this card's going to get banned. Will it? I have no idea. But this card at $5, I would snatch this up. I think it's just a good card in general. Okay, I think this is just simply a good card in general. And I've been telling people to buy this card for so long, guys. Let me go back 6 months. I've been telling people to buy this card when it was under $5. Okay, under $5, it was an auto buy in my opinion, and it still is at $6. I think it's still pretty much an auto buy, even though it's just an SR. The card has that kind of value if you're playing black. Okay, let me see if we got through all these. Yep, we talked about all these already, and yep, very good. All right, next up, guys, we got Laboon. This is an EB01 card. It is only even played in Blackbeard, guys. This is not a good card in any deck except Blackbeard, so I would not even consider purchasing this card anytime soon unless you plan on playing Blackbeard, right? Very good card, though. It is a very solid card in that deck. It allows you to pop a lot of things you wouldn't normally be able to pop, and yeah, good card, okay? But other than that, like I said, I would just wait unless you plan on playing Blackbeard. Okay, now over to the yellow cards. We got Portgosty Ace. This card has jumped up in price, down in price. It's kind of sitting around the 27. No, really, let's just call it the $30 mark. This card is probably going to sit around the $30 mark for a while until we see how good Enel is going to be in EV02. I know that sounds weird. We're still in OP09 in the West. We don't even have OP10 yet, right? Well, let me explain something, guys. In the East right now, they have OP10, ST21, and EB02. So they're like a set and a half ahead of us at this point because of how releases work. So understand, until we see how EB02 really fleshes out, this card might stay around the $30 mark for a while until we see if yellow's going to be good or not. If yellow stops performing well, people are probably going to sell their copies and this card's going to go down in price. But if yellow starts doing very well and this card's a big part of that, then, and we also need to see what comes out in the future. If any new leaders come out in the future, where this card will be very good in those. Let me just say this right now. There is a kind of a point of no return with these secret rarities. Once they hit like the $30 mark, you really don't know what's going to happen. Where it's like, if I buy it at $30, I might save a lot of money if they become more expensive than $30. If they become $40, $50, $60. And guys, we have seen cards hit $80 in this game before. We've seen some cards even hit $100. I'm not talking about alt arts. I'm talking about promo cards like, what was it, Jinbei and Bartolomeo, whatever it was. But guys, with secret rarities, we have seen Katakuri hit $80 or $85 or something like that USD, which is outrageous. It's way down. We're going to look at that card towards the end, but that price has gone way down since then because it got reprinted. But we have seen this kind of stuff happen. $30 is kind of a safe spot. It's kind of like, you know, in the middle, it's kind of like a safe spot for you to buy a secret rare that is extremely impactful in the game. So that's what it comes down to, right? Do you want to buy it when it's pretty affordable? Because it could get way more expensive in the future. Or here's the double-edged sword of it, the double-edged part of it. If it gets reprinted, it will drop way down in price. So it's going to be a gamble you're going to have to take, guys. Use your own discretion and wisdom on this one. It's a tough call. Let me just say this. If you're a yellow main like I am, I would probably snag these up. I mean, guys, I hate to always be that guy, but I told people to buy this card when it was like $15 to $20, right? We've been doing these market watches for quite some time now. I was telling people, yeah, $15 for this card, you might want to snag this. So it's up to $30. Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. Okay, let's look at the bottom here. Yeah, we are going to go over some of these, so let me not talk too much about it. Definitely snag the Yamatos, guys, and the Rocket Boots Luffy. Okay, definitely snag Yamato and Rocket Boots Luffy whenever you get a chance if you can afford them. Next up is Katakuri. So this is the card I was talking about, guys. This is the reprint version, so it was never really over whatever it is now at $15. But they are, you know, they are showing a lot of support for Big Mom Pirates for purple right now, and a little bit for yellow, I think. So this card is starting to go up in price because you might be able to run this in a purple-yellow Charlotte Pudding deck that combines all the support together, and you might have something pretty decent. I would snag these right now, guys, like what we just said. Let me bring up Katakuri. Let me go Katakuri on here, and we'll see what the other one. I think the reprint's the cheaper one. Yeah, so the reprint is going for around $13.50, guys, and the standard original release one is going around for $18. So I would snag these while you can, guys. I would just simply snag these OP0 or these OP03 Katakuris. I would snag these as soon as you can, and I would get it for the cheaper one. Which I think is oops, I just messed it up. I think the reprint one is cheaper. Yeah, I believe this one is cheaper, guys. I would snag whichever one is cheaper of the two, and just go about your business and have your playset of these if you need them. Okay, next up, we were looking at this earlier because I left it on just Lin, because at first I was thinking, okay, I'll do Charlotte Lin, but I put that in purple. Guys, the 10 cost Lin, just get this card. If you don't have it and you play yellow and you play, especially if you play Big Mom Pirates, you should already have this card, guys. $10, snag it. It's one of the most impactful, powerful 10 drops in the game, okay? And then this is the main card we need to look at right now, guys, is ST07, starter deck 07 Lin, going for around $15 right now. I would just treat it like a secret rarity because it is in a starter deck, and it is a SR that came as a 2 of in the starter deck 07s. I would just simply snag the card immediately. Just get your playset, guys, be done with it, and move on with life. Who knows? It could get reprinted in the future. I hope it does. But for the time being, $15 for this card, I don't think it's out of the, I don't think it's totally, out of the question. Next up is You're the One Who Should Disappear. I would get this immediately. Just go ahead and just snag this card, guys, at $3 for an extremely useful zero-cost 3K counter. Think of it like Bad Manners Kit Course, guys. It's basically the same thing for yellow, right? Like Bad Manners Kit Course for red is the same value as the yellow version here with You're the One Who Should Disappear. Just get the card as soon as you can afford it, as soon as you can. Shirahoshi, $20 for this card. EB01, another EB01 Nightmare Disaster. This card used to be all the way down to the $3 range. Now it's up to $20. I personally, there's no way I would buy this card unless I had to, unless I was trying to compete in a tournament very soon that runs yellow that needs the card. But if I was in no rush, if I could afford to wait, then I would wait to see if this card gets reprinted in PRB 02. Okay, Nami, I would get this card immediately. I would not take any chances. I would not do any waiting. It's under $10 for an extremely good yellow SR. If you plan on playing yellow, or if you play yellow currently and you don't have your play set, just get it over with, guys. Don't wait for the card. Don't wait for the card to go up in price. Be like, man, this game's so expensive. It's like, no, just get it over with. You know what I mean? Okay, and then last but not least, we got Charlotte Flampe. This is a normal rarity, well, excuse me, it's a normal rare is what I'm trying to say. It's a rare card from EB01, $7. Go ahead and get it, guys. Go ahead and grab the card. If you're planning on playing blue, yellow Nami, or whatever you're planning on playing in yellow, just grab the card now. Get it over with. All right, that's it, guys. That's it for all these. Actually, we're going to do one bonus content. We're going to do a little bit of bonus content real quick. Let me go to One Piece. We're actually going to look up the Gold Dawn. So let me go ahead and go to One Piece. Guys, here's how you can look this up yourself. You can just type in Gold Dawn as One Piece as your search, and it will bring up all the Gold Dawn cards that are available. Looks like this card has jumped up in price. Wow, I'm glad I have mine. So this was one of the cards that I really wanted to have for a long time, guys. It's just a white and gold Dawn card, nothing too crazy. This card is up to $18 a card. I was getting it, I think I got mine when they were like in the $7 or $8 range. It was probably the $7 or $8 range. I got the 5 that I wanted, right? Because I actually want to combo this with a black and gold Dawn in the future. Who knows if that'll ever become available. But yeah, this card at $20, guys, that is pretty rough. But this is just your standard Dawn, Gold Dawn One Piece promo card. Now, other than that, the rest of these we're looking at, these are actually from the PRB set, the gold versions of these Dawn cards. These prices are outrageous, guys. I typically don't look at Altarts because of how crazy these prices are. Just know these are not, if you're a newer player, do not be scared of these prices. These are for special alternate art rarity promo cards. Don't worry about this. You can use any Dawn card you want to. You can use Dawn card that costs a penny. If you ask someone at your locals, they will probably give you 10 free Dawn cards. Okay, just do that, right? Just trust me on that one. Okay, just trust me, bro. Trust me, right? But here we go, guys. Just kind of going through these. The Katakuri one, $200 right now. It looks like $140 maybe is the market price on it. The Queen one's very cheap at $70. The Crocodile is also around $70. Ace is around $150. It looks like. Because notice this, guys. I wouldn't look at the listing price on these. Watch this. The Katakuri one says $200. Well, that one actually might be right because Katakuri just got a new reveal. But watch the others, guys. Like, see this Queen card? Let me see something. $110 for this one. It says actually, excuse me. This Crocodile card's up to like $90. This okay, it kind of jumped around. I mean, that's unfortunate. Oh, here's the actually, yeah, we just saw this Crocodile one. It kind of jumped around, guys. This King one is around $92, and look what it said. It actually said it was only going to be like $35 to $60. Just know that all these are going to be like way over what it says. $185 for this card here. The market price is probably the lowest it has been sold for in the past like week or so. I'm just guessing. I don't know, but that's probably how that works. So you got Yamato on here, Iceberg. Check this Perona one out, guys. The one that I want so bad, but it's way too expensive, guys. Well, not way too. It's just too expensive. I would love to have a play set of these in the future. White, black, and gold. That's my thing, of course. But that would run me about $1,000. Probably more than that because it goes up in price as you start going through these. Look at this. 2. Here's 5 of them, and then it would be 3 more. Guys, this would be like almost a $2,000 purchase, especially after taxes, shipping, and handling, and all that. Just insane for a full playset of these, but these look so clean. I love these guys. They look so good. The most expensive one we're looking at is still going to be the Zoro one, this one right here. This one in Katakuri now, I think are like the most expensive ones. It looks so good, guys. It looks so cool. But check that out. Yeah, the price has just gone up and up and up on these. And remember what I was saying, guys? The main reason I wanted to go over these, let me scroll down so you guys can see it better. The main reason we're going over these today is kind of like what I was talking about with leaders. There are only really 2 or 3 alt-art cards I would ever consider in this game. One being a leader, the second being Dawn cards. The third would have been something like whatever your main deck is, maybe do that in all alt-arts if it's something you're always going to play. But imagine this, guys. Whatever your main deck is you play, it might not be good next set. We don't know. It could be even better next set. But I'm just saying, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. So say you have this deck that you run. You absolutely love it. It's your favorite deck. It's the favorite deck you've ever played in any TCG. So you deck it out in alt-arts, right? Well, there's actually a chance that in a set from now, or in 2 sets, or 3 sets, or 4 sets, that card, or that deck, the cards in that deck, they might not be good anymore because power creep happens, right, guys? It just happens. However, these Dawn cards will always be good. No matter what deck you play in the future, these alt-arts will always be good, no matter what you're playing them in. And the same idea with a leader. Say you have a leader that you main, you only play that one leader. Well, it probably is not that bad of an idea to pop out $50 for an alt-art so you can stare at it all the time and your opponent can see you're serious about the leader. Right? That's fine. Not that that matters. That's like a personal thing. It's up to you. I get that. But these Dawn cards, what I was going to say, let me finish that idea. You have to think, like, that leader card, you might not enjoy playing it in the future. And, hey, who knows if something gets banned, too. If it's in a leader that's strong enough, it might get banned. You never know. But with Dawn cards, guys, I can pretty safely say, or I can safely assume that I don't think you're ever going to have to worry about getting alt-arts for Dawn cards because you'll always be able to run them. No matter what deck you're running, you can just, literally, if you have 10 different decks that you play, you could just use the same 10 Dawn cards for each one of those decks. Even though they all have different leaders, even though they all have different characters. And events and colors and all that. So something to really consider, guys. When it comes to Dawn cards, this is where I personally would do a little bit of extra personal spending, is with the Dawn cards, because I know I'll get the biggest bang for my buck. And guys, I've seen these cards in real life. Not all of them, but I've seen what some of these alternate Dawn cards look like. They look incredible, guys. They look amazing. So definitely check that out. Okay, all right, we're not going to talk too much more about it. These prices, like I said, the way to do this, guys, it is 2 pages of these, guys. It is 2 pages of these Gold Dawn cards. Oh, we'll check that one out, guys. The Trafalgar Law one, the Lucci one. Yeah, these are just incredible. So make sure to check these out if you want to look at them. Go to tcgplayer.com. Click One Piece for the drag down menu here. These are a bunch of TCGs that are the other TCG options. And you just type in Gold Dawn and you can check those out at your own leisure. Okay? All right, guys, that's it for the TCG player portion of today's video. Next up, we're going to be checking out how much these decks cost in their entirety. I'm going to try to go through these a little faster than normal just because I just want to see what they cost so we can move on with this, right? Because we just need to know roughly for the new players out there. All right, first up is Doflamingo. We're just going to pick a deck that did well. Let me see something here. So at the TAC Game Online Treasure Cup from February 8th, here we go. This is a 3rd place list right here. Let's go ahead and just click on this one. $116, guys, for what a lot of people are considering one of the top decks, if not the top deck in the format. Some people, again, if you're concerned about getting into this because like maybe the leader will get banned or something, you don't actually have to worry about that because you could pretty much copy paste this entire list over to Boa Hancock, another leader that's blue, that's 7 Warlords, that gets a very similar value, and you'll just change the deck around a little bit. So I think this is a pretty safe buy. Even if they do get rid of the leader, I still think it's a pretty decent safe buy because you'd be able to move it straight over to Boa Hancock. Or vice versa. Say they ban something like a Jinbei, which I'm not saying they will. Say they ban one of the cards in here. Okay, you'll just be able to change this out and put something else in the place of it, and you still have the core of a very strong blue 7 Warlords deck. Okay? Next up, so that was Blue Doflamingo. That was by Doji, a 3rd place list on the TAC Online Treasure Cup. Next up, we have Black Yellow Luffy. Here we go. Here's a 1st place list from that TAC Game Online Treasure Cup. 1st place by Elliot Charters. This list is around $200, and this just got 1st place at a very big tournament. The most expensive card in here is the Sabo, and if this card continues to go down in price or if it gets reprinted, this deck becomes even more affordable. So that is a really, really good sign, right? That's really nice. Solid price here. Now, I will say this card is not interchangeable. There is no card that does what this card does in the deck. It is 100% core to the can't even talk, guys. It is core to the design of how Black Yellow Luffy, the leader, functions and operates. There is no replacement for this card within the deck, so it is, you will have to snag these if you want to play this leader. Okay, that's Black Yellow Luffy. Next up, we have Lucci. This is pretty much like a very dependable list at this point, guys. Here is a 5th place deck by this guy named Dan. This was at the TAC Game Online Treasure Cup, pretty much the most recent Treasure Cup we have access to, guys, at least on Limitless. $210, guys. It's running 2 of the Sabo. The big card in here is the Brook. Hopefully this gets reprinted. I can't stress that enough, guys. For all these cards that are super expensive, I just hope they get reprinted, but we don't know what's going to happen. But this Brook is not really replaceable. I guess for the time being, if you just have to find an immediate replacement and you're on a budget, you can take $100 off. You can shave $100 off the top of this deck here, and you can actually grab a card called Kobe. I'm just going to show you that real quick, guys. It is a 3-cost card just like it. It's this one right here. This is from all the way back in this is ST19. Let me see something. It said there was another one. Yeah, it's a Paramount Rare. I was going to say, I think it said ST19. That was the most recent starter deck. But this came out in OP02. It's like 20 cents for this card. It's 3 costs, pops a 3 or less. I'm not saying it's as good. I'm not saying it's as good as this card, Brook. It is not. It is simply not as good as this card. But if you just need an immediate replacement, this is at least something decent to replace it with. Okay, so that was Dan's list. Next up, we got Purple Luffy here. We're going to look at this list that got 13th place at the TAC Games Online Treasure Cup by Austin Zhang. This one as well, guys. Now, this one I'm going to tell you right now, you can shave $85 off the top of this price immediately, okay? But yes, otherwise, this deck is going for $250. This card, I would just simply run Basil Hawkins here. I'm sorry, I know this card is slightly better if you already have your 2 play set of this, or your two cards, because for this deck, the only play set you need of this is only 2 of them, right? So you can just change this out for 2 Basil Hawkins, and I think you're going to be just fine. Yes, you'll lose a little bit of tempo, sure, but for saving $85, you might as well, right? Unless you just have the budget, do what you need to do. But everything else on here is kind of just... These Sanjis are kind of expensive now, guys. The Usohashi is kind of expensive. So, man, if you could just shave off that $85 here and drop this deck into the $160 range, that's really not bad, guys. It's really not too bad. Okay, that was Austin Zhang's list. Next up, we got Jory Bonnie. Jory Bonnie, let's go to this one. This person's name is Dirty Chai. 2nd place list at the TAC Online Game Cup. Under $200 for this list. And the Cavendish is the bad guy here. Look at this, guys. $105 for your 4-card play set. Yep, that's just what EB01's all about right now. But all things considered, this list is actually pretty affordable outside of this one Cavendish. Pretty affordable. So something to work towards, and I think that's not too bad. I think I'm going to say this right now, guys. This is a personal thing for me. Any deck that you're trying to put together that's under $200, number one, you're probably going to be able to ask around locally to get some better deals and get it like for even cheaper. Like anything that's probably $200 at a online price, you're probably going to be able to get it for around $150 locally. But other than that, just hear me out. Anything under $200, it's hard to complain about that, guys. I mean, have y'all seen the Magic the Gathering prices? Have y'all seen the prices on some of these other games I play, like Flesh and Blood, Yu-Gi-Oh? I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh, but so on and so forth. Most games are much more expensive than this. So I think under $200 is a pretty good price point. Okay, next up we got Enel. Now this is the most expensive deck in the entire game, guys. This is at this is 26th place at a online cup back on February 8th by this guy named Shambles. And this list, right under $400. This is the most expensive deck in the game by far. Like I don't even think it's close. I mean, maybe there's a red purple Luffy deck out there with nothing but secret rares that's as expensive. But generally speaking, guys, this is the most expensive deck because it's running 4 of these secret rares, 4 of these secret rares, and then it's got this EB01 monstrosity in there. It's got all kinds of problems with it, right? So I would, if you're on a budget, I would not run yellow currently. I wouldn't do it, guys. But very strong list, and it is accurately just under $400. Okay, next up is Nami. Nami is like every player's dream price deck right here, right at the $50 mark. This is Pokemon territory. We're looking at $56 for this deck, guys. And half of the price is in your Love Mellows. So if you can find a way to get these cheaper locally, I would do that. Maybe you can get these for like $20 locally for a play set. Be like, hey, I'll give you $20 for 4 of them. Maybe someone will, take that offer in a heartbeat. hopefully. Whatever the case is, though, this is like a $50 to $55 deck. Very solid, and it is a very strong deck. This deck is very solid. It just got 22nd place at the Place Core TCG Online Treasure Cup by this guy named Alex Sneezy. And yeah, very solid, guys, because this is not a good meta currently for Nami. So if it's doing that well at like a Treasure Cup event, not bad. Okay, next up we got Shanks. Now this is the new red deck to play, guys. We're going to look at Jacob Schreider's list at this 401 Games Online Treasure Cup, just like the Nami was from. Right at $200, and guys, over half the price of this deck is Silver's Rayleigh. It is what it is. It is what it is, guys. I will say this: you can play you can not run this character, guys. You cannot run the character and go up 2 Newgates, go up a Dragon, and go up a Shanks, no problem. And you'll still be just fine, and you'll only, you'll drop the price of the deck down by about $100, go down to about $125, $130 price range. Not really that bad. But this card's very good. Remember, guys, when I'm telling you replacements, I'm not saying they're as good as the card we are replacing. There's a reason the card is as expensive as it is. It's doing what it's doing. So Silver's Rayleigh is an incredible card, but you can replace it in the list we're looking at right here. Just go up 2 more Edward Newgates, go up 1 more Dragon, go up 1 more Shanks, or do what you want with it. Change the list around however you need to. Okay, very solid Shanks list there by Jacoby. And then let's see. So we've seen a blue deck. We've seen black, purple, green, yellow, and red. So we've gone over all the main colors. Now we're just going to look at a few random ones here. We'll look at Blackbeard because this is a this deck. We're going to look at this one by Danny from the TAC Online Treasure Cup. $107 with over half the price being Laboon. You can replace this card with a very cheap card called Hosradin, and it's not quite as good, but hear me out, guys. It's a 4-cent card, okay? And it does the -4 cost, but it's on a 6 cost body, and it doesn't tap the character, it taps the leader. However, that's still a very solid replacement. Or you can also add in a card called One-Legged Toy Soldier. This one right here, just a nice extra 2K counter that does -3 if you need it. Okay, so there are ways to replace Laboon and make this deck under $50 or right at $50 or something like that. So very, very strong showing here for this deck. Very affordable outside of this one silly card here that, again, I think there are reasonable replacements for. Reasonable in terms of like the same way as I said for Purple Luffy for like Mr. 2 versus Basil Hawkins. They do enough of the same thing to help you out. Okay? All right, that's Blackbeard. So that was by Danny. And I can't remember what I was saying. I was saying something right before I got into this. But long story short, this is a leader that we are seeing pop up. So it's good to know what that one's costing. Smoker as well. This one's popping up all over the place as well. Here's a 13th place list by Javier Ortiz at the OPE Online Treasure Cup back on February 1st. $250 for this one because it's running the 4 Brooks. It's running 2 Sabos, 4 Geckos. It's running 4 the Sengoku card, 4 Rebecca's. Rebecca's gone up in price. It's mainly Brook, guys. Brook is the overwhelming, majority of this deck's price. It seems to be the problem card. And in this list, they're already running 2 Kobe, so I guess you can technically go down 2 Brooks and go up 2 Kobe's, and then that will drop the price of the deck down by 50, if that makes it a little bit easier for you. But yeah, still a very solid list. Okay, so that's Smoker, Blackbeard, Luffy. I want to see a few more, a few that I always check out. Reiju, this got 19th place by Antonio Estrada Garcia. This was on January, so this was about a month ago at the Mexico City Finals, about a month ago at the time you're recording this. Under $50 for a playlist. I always like to show this one, guys. The Black Maria is $20 in this list, and I do think it's kind of necessary for what you're doing. But hear me out, guys. This list is $40. And this leader, learning how to play this deck, learning how to play this leader, and it will get some support in OP10 if I'm not mistaken. I think that's when the new Sanji comes out. This leader will help you get better at the game, and it is a great entry point into the game, guys. Really, really good. Okay, what else? Let me see. I think that might be it. We'll look at Nico Robin. So this is another one of those insanely expensive decks, I think, guys. But let's check out this one from January 11th. It's a yellow deck, so of course it's going to be a little more expensive than usual. But this is by Guillermo Trejo. Well, it's actually not nearly as bad as I thought, guys, but around the $200 mark. It's $110 from Port Gossi Ace, $25 from the Namis. Yeah, so actually not nearly as bad as I thought, guys. Still under $200. Not too bad. Very good. Good stuff. All right, that's about it, guys. I think that's all we're going to look at today. Those are the main decks I wanted to go over. Oh, we'll look at one more for the budget players out there. Bello Betty. This is by Mitch. This was in January 25th at the Championship Finals Melbourne. Guys, this list is $30, and it got 25th place at a, it says Championship Finals Melbourne. So I don't know if that's like a regional. Maybe that's a regional or Treasure Cup level event. Either way, this list, guys, is so incredibly cheap. I absolutely love Red Yellow Revo Army, and I've run this deck many times. It is a very, very solid deck. And this is the only expensive card in here. The Dragon is costing about $7.50 a card. So definitely worth considering. Okay, guys, and that is it for the Limitless TCG portion of this video. Now we're going to check out one quick game on the sim. Speaking of the expensive decks, you know, both the ones I said were expensive, even though only one of them was, just the Enel was. Well, you know, Enel's the most expensive, I should say. But here we go, guys. Now we're going to check out a game of Purple Yellow Nico Robin versus Enel. So volume is off, speed is on 2x, and here we go. I will show the deck list after this game, at least for my Nico Robin list, because I don't have the Enel list, obviously. This is just some random opponent on the sim. But guys, I have to say, if you don't like playing against Enel, if you're not a big fan of what Enel does, well, Nico Robin is very good into Enel, guys. Very good. Banish is built into the leader's effect. Okay, let me see something. The volume's off. Yeah, the speed's on 2x. We're good. And we're going to go ahead and pass on turn 1. We have no Shirahoshi play, which I do play, but we didn't get it. They're going to play out their Shirahoshi on curve. Seems good. We'll swing it for 5. We'll trash a card from our hand with a trigger on it, and we will ramp a Dawn. Rested, and now we're going to play out a Sanji. It's just a little blocker. It's not really a big deal. They took that hit, guys. That was a Katakuri. It went straight to their trash. They have no 5 Dawn turn. Seems good. We did kind of luck out there, but I didn't care if they popped the Sanji or not. We're going to swing in for 5. Remember, guys, every single attack we do, they have to answer or they lose a life card. The life card does not go to their hand because our leader has Banish. We're going to swing in. We're going to drop Satori. I'm just trying to put some bodies on the board right now. And here we go. We have 2 Dawn active. We're not gonna really do anything with that, though. They're going to play out a Nami. Pop probably the Sanji. I think is the right call here, even though the Satori's a little bit bigger. Yeah, Sanji has blocker. Satori's basically just a 5k vanilla. They're going to play out another Shirahoshi. I don't really care about those, to be honest. We're going to swing in for 5. They have 3 cards left in their hand, guys. They can't take life. They took that hit. It was an Enel, guys. A 10 cost Enel from EV02. We're going to play out the 9 Lin. We're not going to give them any life. We're just going to use... Guys, for those who are not aware, Charlotte Lin, the 9 cost, you don't have to give your opponent a life card. You could just gain a life yourself. So they do end up popping my Satori there with a Yamato. That's fine. They only had 2 life anyway. Or were they down? Hang on, let me see something. Were they down to 1 life? Hang on. No, they were not. So they didn't even get the full value of the Yamato, guys. And we like to see that. We love that. Okay, they're going to swing in for 5 here. We'll probably gladly take this, guys. We want to draw more cards. Look, they're really thinking about this. Like, okay, if I attack in, then I'm going to not be able to, you know... Yeah, they're probably not going to be able to defend Nami. So it's like, should I do it and give my opponent a card? He decides no. He decides yes. He might decide no again. Let's see. He hasn't made up his mind yet, guys. This is in 2x speed, remember. I don't think he should swing in with Nami. I'm just going to say it. Swing in with the leader, I think, is fine and drop me down to 4 life here. Okay, we're going to take it. That's what he was scared of. Triggers, making me draw cards and everything. He swings for 5 more. We get a Katakuri. We'll take it every time. And here we go. We're going to go 9 into 5. Let's see what he wants to do. He gives me a blocker. Sure. We'll take that. We'll take a blocker here, guys. We'll swing 5 at face now. Let's see what he does. He is going to counter out. And now we have Jaguar de Sol here. We have the Sanji. I think what we're going to do, yeah, play out the Sanji, Dawn -1, tap down the Shirahoshi, swing everything into the board. 7 into 5. That card's gone. There's no way he can save it. And then 5 into 0. I think I should swing into the Shirahoshi here. It looks like I'm just going to pass. Guys, I think I should have swung into the Shirahoshi, but the thing I didn't want to happen is I didn't want them to swing into my Lin or my Sanji with the Yamato. I didn't want them to be able to just load up and swing into it, but I should have. It was just the wrong call. They ended up popping my Jaguar de Sol anyway, and now they can swing into it. However, now they can't swing into it for a large enough number, right? Okay, I'm going to Gum Giant here. Draw 2, trash 2, gain plus 4 for the turn. Seems good to me. And here we go. We'll be on 9 Dawn next turn. Looks like they are going to load up 1 Dawn on their leader. Come in for 6. We'll take it. Okay, we're going to go 9 into 9. This forces a blocker or a card from their hand. They let the card go. That's how hard this matchup is for them, guys. 5 into 5. They take it. They lost Braum. I like that Braum tech, by the way, guys. Braum, that's a solid tech card for Enel going forward. Okay, we're going to play out the Charlotte Lin. We're going to maybe push a card back to life. Yeah, I don't know. I guess that gets rid of it. Oh, okay. So next turn, I'm probably going for lethal. That's probably why I did that. So now I know their last life card is not a you're the one who should disappear or a beige or something like that. Okay, here we go. Looks like they're about to swing in for 11 at my 9. We'll just let that go. It's fine. Let's see if they want to attack with their Yamato. I don't think I'll be upset about that. I don't think I'll be upset about it at all. They're going to play out a Frankie. That's a 2K counter. Probably not the right call, but who knows. They're going to swing in for 9. We are going to take that. And now I think we should actually just keep going for the board. Yeah, just keep doing this. They can't keep this up. They can't keep it up. Okay, we'll play out the Olvia here, maybe. Yep. So watch this play here, guys. I'm going to swing for 8 with Banish. That card's gone for sure. Let's see what it is. It's a Flampe. We're going to play out a Katakuri, gaining a life with the Olvia. And your turn. That was a very nasty interaction there, guys. I was able to swing 8 with Banish, pushing the Olvia to top. Now I get to draw 3 trash 2. I literally countered... Guys, let me explain what all Olvia just did with Katakuri. It was, okay, my leader now is swinging for 8 into your leader, which would cost them 2 2Ks to get out of. Instead, they lost a life card from it. And, you know, we didn't even lose our Olvia, right? We just got to trash one of their life cards. Then we pushed our Olvia to life and gained a life with it, countering our opponent's next... you know, leader attack, basically, like nullifying it. And then when they go in, our way of nullifying it, quote unquote, allowed us to draw 3 trash 2. Seems good. And now we're getting into my blockers, because I run quite a few blockers in this list. This is a list that me and my buddy Mike came up with. They swing in for 5. I'm just going to counter out 10 costs. Yeah, ace is coming down. They're probably going to go 10 into 9 here, just to try to get more cards out of hand. But I don't know. They might just want to go for face, in my personal opinion. Like I think I would just go for the face here. They go for 10 into 9. I'm going to easily 2K counter out of that. We had plenty of counter in hand. Now we're going to go 7 into 5. Again, they just aren't going to get to establish a board. They're not going to get to do anything. Oh, okay. They're going to go... so now I go 10 into that, 8 into that, and now they lose their top life card. So now it's just game over. Right? So this is essentially checkmate, guys. Play out the Onami, draw 2, trash 1. Play out the other Onami, draw 2, or trash 1, draw 2, whatever. We're sitting on 1 Dawn for a Gum Giant. And now he's going to go in for 5. We're going to take it. We're not even going to use the Jaguar ID Sol. They're going to swing in with Enel. They have no card to trash to even gain life. Where are they going with this? I'm just going to click Onami. Okay? Yep, they're just going to swing in here. Just do Onami. He can't even trash a card to gain a life with it. And now we're swinging for 7. We know that will go through. And now he can trash that card to gain a life. And now I'm going to swing 5 in with Banish. It was a you're the one who should disappear. And now we're coming in for 9. GG, just for 9. I like the number 9. Okay, good game to my opponent. That was a fun one. And guys, I have to say, like I said, if you don't like Nico, if you don't like Nico Robin, we got a problem. No, I'm just kidding. But if you don't like Enel, Nico Robin is an absolute beast, guys. This is the list I was just running. We're running 2 Katakuri. I've made adjustments here and there. I think the card is incredible. I think this card is cracked, guys. And with all the green stuff coming out soon... Oh, let me move my face. With all the green stuff coming out soon, guys, with 8-cost Eustace Kid, I know people are going to be like, yeah, but you know they have Tashigi and whatnot. Okay, I get it. They have Tashigi. However, we can even use this card to push the Tashigi to life. And now we have an 8,000 power body to swing in with next turn. And remember, guys, we're Nico Robin. We are ramping. They're not going to get down their cards before us. Like their bigger cards, we are going to get there before them. And this card right here hits a 6 or less. So guess what? That's a nice smoker you got there. The new 5-cost 7K smoker. It's going straight to the top of your life. So that is something to really, really consider, guys. It is a very powerful interaction. We're going to be able to do a lot with this kind of combo here. And we also have the Namis to deal with them as well earlier on. And then in the late game, the Charlotte Linlin, like I was saying. So really good stuff here. The deck feels like it's very strong. It feels like and it's fun to play, guys. This is a really fun deck to play. This version that me and my buddy Mike came up with, we put way more purple in here than most decks are running. And guys, this card... I always think it's broken sometimes. I don't mean literally broken where it needs to be banned or something, but this card in conjunction with this card, that's a lot of card draw. And now that we're doing shenanigans with Nico Olvia and the Katakuri, and we have the Frankie, we're doing a lot of filtering, guys. We're doing a lot of cycling. Got a little bit of card draw here. This card, I will say this is the one card I want to talk about. I think I'm going to go down 2 of this card eventually and go up 1 Nami and go up 1 Sanji. And then one more thing, we were working on this tech. It's a Foxy Pirate purple event. It's one of my favorite new cards. This card. I think we might be adding Nora Beam Sword over the Rygo. I understand Rygo's insanely good, but hear me out. One of the reasons this card is in the deck is actually to deal with Blackbeard. Like, it's actually in the deck to deal with Blackbeard, or maybe even like a Shanks or something, I guess. But it's really meant to deal with Blackbeard, to be honest. So, because they shut down our on-play effects and we can't do quite as much. So shutting down our on-plays is just brutal. But here's the thing. Rygo, it is very good into Blackbeard, but it costs 6, and it assumes we're at 1 or less life, or else we don't get the full value. Which we might be, by the way. We might be. But here's the thing. Nora Beam Sword, the way they're going to play, it's going to go like this, guys. They're going to go, okay, play down Blackbeard, and then lock down your leader's effect for the turn if they have one, and make it where your character cannot attack. But the main thing is they're locking down a leader effect, right? That's the idea that they would typically do, so they usually play out the Blackbeard first. Well, if they do, they might not, because we are Nico Robin, we're not Enel, but if they do play out the character first so that the leader can swing through a blocker maybe or something like that, Nora Beam Sword is going to absolutely punish them. Or even if they don't, say they have a Burgess on the board, say they swing for 5 and they were going to plan to swing for 9 with the Burgess. Okay, they swing for 5. We go Nora Beam Sword, get out of your attack, and lock down your Burgess for the turn. And now every attack of mine is probably going to go into that next turn, or whatever we can manage, whatever we can pull off. So I'm just saying, it is an idea, guys. There might be something there. And I do think there's something to be said there about running this over the Rygo. So just to give an idea of how that would look, we would basically be getting rid of the Miss All Sunday to go up maybe a Satori and a Nami. Maybe that's a better idea. This card wasn't really doing it for me. It's not a bad card, and it does have extra utility, but I do like the idea of going up a Nami, a Satori, or a Sanji, or even an Onami, but then we'd go down 1 trigger. However, the 2 Rygo are almost for sure going to be going out for 2 more Nora Beam Swords. This is the direction I'm leaning. We'll have to see what happens. It needs testing, but I do think there's something in this card. I actually think this is one of the strongest cards out there right now. I know 2 Dawn is not really practical for us to run out, but since we are running the 2 Katakuris now, we have a pretty good turn where it's like, okay, I'm going to swing for 5 with my leader, do my entire turn, and then slam down a Katakuri to bounce one of their characters out of the way, and then like, oh, I got 2 Dawn left. Whoops, I forgot to use it all. Wink, wink. We already knew what we had, coming, and then we can hit him with like a Nora Beam Sword. So I'm just saying there is an option here. It is, and I think it's just a good card. It does Dawn -1, which is less than ideal, but it can give us a lot of extra utility. It can give us a lot of extra utility. And of course, it has a trigger. If it's against a deck, we won't need it. If we're going against a deck that we won't need this card or whatever, like, okay, it's a trigger. We can trash it with Nami, or we can trash it with our leader effect ramped on earlier on. So there you go. All right, I'm done, guys. That was fun. Hope y'all enjoyed. Please do not forget to like, subscribe. I really want to see what y'all think about the market watch today. What do y'all think about these prices? What all do you guys think are going to? What all cards do you guys think are going to be reprinted in PRB 02? I'm really anxious to see what you guys have to say. Very curious to see what y'all have to say. Big shout out to everybody who supports the channel, guys. Whether you're liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, viewing, whatever you're doing, and then all the VV Pirates playmat supporters. Thank you guys so much for helping me in that way, and hope you guys are enjoying your playmats. And then, of course, last but not least, or actually, excuse me, I keep messing this up, guys. I got to fix this this outro we have here. But VV Pirates YouTube members, thank you guys so much for supporting me. You guys are helping me out big time. And then the patrons, of course. Thank you to everybody on here supporting me by donating or getting on the Patreon, whatever you're doing. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Just trying to keep the dream alive, trying to keep the ship afloat, trying to keep everything going here. Appreciate you. All right, I'm done. Hope you all enjoyed. Till next time, guys. Peace.